Welcome back to The Takeout. CBS News has learned exclusively the Trump administration is putting together a plan that would allow immigration officials to swiftly reject some asylum applications without ever interviewing the applicants. CBS News immigration correspondent Camilo Montoya-Galvez has the new reporting. Lay it out for us, Camilo.
Well, Major, just to level set, every time somebody files an asylum request here in the U.S., the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, specifically an asylum officer at USCIS, a branch of DHS, interviews that applicant to, one, determine whether that person meets the legal definition of a refugee, an asylee, and also to determine whether that person perhaps poses a threat to national security or public safety. But now, according to the internal DHS documents that we obtained, the administration is drafting a regulation that would empower asylum officers to quickly and expeditiously reject asylum applications without actually interviewing the applicants. And asylum officers would be empowered to do so if they find that that application was filed a year after that person entered the country. That has been long-standing federal law that you, generally speaking, have to file your asylum case within the first year of your arrival to the country. But now, asylum applicants will not be allowed to explain why perhaps they did not follow that one-year deadline during an interview and could be quickly rejected from the get-go, and their cases could be sent directly to the immigration courts, which now have to oversee adversarial cases that are much harder to win by the Justice Department. And we should underscore, Major, lastly, that this is part of a broader campaign by the administration to restrict access to the asylum system, which officials argue faces systematic abuse and fraud.
And very quickly, Camilo, over the weekend and days before that, at a place called Delaney, a facility for detention of those possibly to be deported, there have been protests, clashes, and the like. What has happened? What's the current status?
Well, we have seen tense protests outside of the Delaney Hall ICE detention facility in Newark, New Jersey. That started after an alleged hunger strike on Memorial Day by detainees who were complaining, allegedly, Major, about substandard conditions at the facility. Over the weekend, law enforcement officials were able to reassert control of the situation to a higher degree, at least, and to establish a perimeter around the facility. And that was after the governor of New Jersey, a Democrat, Mikey Sherrill, ordered additional state troopers to go there to set up that perimeter. Now the Department of Homeland Security has allowed the facility to be reopened for family visitation for the relatives of detainees to go inside to talk to the relatives. That had been suspended because of the protests. But again, clashes and protests have continued now for 10 straight days. Major.
And quickly, Camilo, there's a curfew that's been imposed?
Yes, the mayor of Newark, Ross Baraka, has imposed a curfew near the facility from 9 p.m. at night to 6 a.m. in the morning.
Camilo Montoya-Galvez, with all the stuff, as always. Thank you very much.